What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I have my predictions for Week 11. Yes, Week 11. Man, this season has flown by. And I say that every season, but this season feels especially true for that statement. Man, it has just skyrocketed by. I guess time flies when you're having fun, but as an Alabama fan, I haven't had much fun this season. But alas, thank you for clicking on this video. I'm a college football fan, and if you love college football too, you love my channel, please consider subscribing. But let's see how I done last week. Last week, overall, I went 7-3, and against the spread, I went 4-6. That brings my season totals to 68-27 overall on the season. 72% correct percentage, and against the spread, I am 39-56. 41% correct percentage. I'm bringing the numbers up. I'm doing a little bit better. I'm looking into more stats and everything. I feel really good about my picks this week. But let's get into them. Top 5. The top 5 teams. Missouri travels to number 5 Tennessee. Tennessee, a 20.5 point favorite. They have a 93% win probability according to ESPN. Missouri, doing a little bit better than expected, I'd say. They're 4-5, 2-4 in the SEC. And they have a really good defense, actually. I'm really excited to see Tennessee go against this defense. Obviously, Tennessee had a showing last week, not very good, versus Georgia's defense. But Missouri, number 14 defense, and Alabama is ahead of them at number 13 defense overall. And Tennessee annihilated Alabama's defense. So we'll see. But Missouri's offense is not good at all. Barely top 100. But Missouri has played some good games this year. They should have beat Auburn, but they absolutely fumbled that game. Don't even get me started. But anyways, and they played a really close game versus number 1 Georgia. Had them on the ropes for 3.5 quarters. Tennessee, like I said, coming off that loss to Georgia, and they need to win out, and they need to win impressively if they want to get into the college football playoff, in my opinion. Their defense is not that good. That's been one of their weaknesses this season. Their defense is ranked 82, not even in the top 80, but they have the number 1 offense in the country, led by Hendon Hooker. Tennessee 8-1. So 2 very good teams. The last time Missouri beat Tennessee was 2018, and I don't think they do it this Saturday either. Give me Tennessee 42-14. Tennessee wins and covers. Tennessee wins by 28, 42-14. I'm going to save number 4 TCU for later. Then we have Nebraska at number 3 Michigan. Michigan is a 31-point favorite. And I completely understand. Nebraska is terrible. To put it simply, they are 3-6 this year. And they have the worst defense in the Big Ten and one of the worst defenses at the country, ranked 115th. And then their offense is on the latter side, number 72 offense. It really hasn't been amazing either. Although I'll give Casey Thompson some credit. I think he's a decent quarterback. But man, Michigan is on a roll, and I think people are underrating Michigan right now. Even though they're number 3 and undefeated, I really do feel like people are underrated them. I think they're going to give Ohio State an incredible game at the end of the season. If not, maybe an upset, but you have to wait for the Michigan, the second best defense in the entire country and a top 25 offense. Michigan firing on all cylinders. Their rush offense is amazing with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. And don't forget about J.J. McCarthy at quarterback either. So those playmakers combined with their incredible defense versus a bad Nebraska team, I have Michigan winning by a lot. Give me Michigan 56-10. Michigan wins by 46. Michigan wins and they cover. Then let's go to the other state that Michigan hates, Ohio State. Indiana traveling to Ohio State. Ohio State is insanely favored in this game. Ohio State's a 40-point favorite. And again, I see why. Indiana, a bad team, 3-6, and both of their defensive and offensive units, neither of them are top 100, having the 104th defense and the 112th offense in the country. So neither of them really good. And Ohio State, man, one of the most complete teams in the nation other than Georgia. Undefeated, looking sharp. I know they come off that Northwestern game last week, and they barely won it, but those were insane weather conditions. And I think they have a big bounce back. Ohio State, obviously, with a top 10 defense and a top 15 offense, led by Heisman favorite C.J. Stroud. And then you got playmakers like Travion Henderson, Marvin Harrison Jr., I could go on and on. Ohio State with an amazing offense. The last time Indiana beat Ohio State was 1988, and I don't see it happening at all this week. Give me Ohio State 52-7. Ohio State wins by 45. Ohio State wins and they cover. Then I have the number 1 team, Georgia, and they are traveling to Mississippi State. I think this is an interesting matchup. Mississippi State, to me, has one of the most underrated atmospheres in college football. Davis Wade Stadium is a very tough stadium to play at. If you're an SEC fan, you know what I'm talking about. When they get them cowbells ringing, it's prime time. It's a dangerous place to play. And a lot of teams have trouble playing there. Now, number 1, Georgia is an amazing team. And it's not like they have too much trouble playing on the road. I don't think they'll be intimidated per se, but it always is tough when you add that element. But I think if anyone's built for that, it may be Georgia. Georgia, of course, the best team in the country, and it isn't close, with a top 5 defense and a top 3 offense. That is insane at 9-0. But don't underrate Mississippi State. Mississippi State's a decent little team, top 50 defense, and number 62 offense, and the 8th best passing offense in the entire country. So I'll be very curious to see how their pass offense does against Georgia's defense. But I think Georgia, coming off a huge game to Tennessee, a game that was hyped up so much, they may let their guard down a little. We've seen Georgia struggle at times this year. Plus Davis Wade Stadium. Give me Georgia to win. But I don't think they cover. Give me Georgia. Georgia beats Mississippi State. The spread is 16 in favor of Georgia. Give me Georgia beats Mississippi State 31-17. Georgia wins by 14. Georgia wins, but they do not cover. Let's take a look at a few other games. LSU at Arkansas. The Battle of the Boot, a rivalry game. ESPN gives LSU a 73% win percentage in this one. And I think this is very interesting. If LSU wins, they clinch the SEC West, and they book a trip to Atlanta. LSU with a top 50 defense and a top 50 offense, 43-33 respectively. 7-2 this season, obviously with the big win over Ole Miss and the big win over Alabama. Unfortunately, Roll Tide Roll is what it is, though. Got to move on. Not getting into it today. But yes, LSU, a very good team. Brian Kelly doing amazing things at LSU this season. And Arkansas has had a disappointing year to me. They have 4 losses and could finish with more than that. I really thought Arkansas was going to go the Tennessee route this year. Early in the season, I thought a team would be 1 loss, very hyped up in the rankings. I thought that team was going to be Arkansas. I thought Arkansas was going to take the same path Tennessee has right now. So they've been really disappointing. Their offense is top 15 with with a top 10 rushing offense in the country, but their defense this season has been so bad. For a team that has stars like Bumper Poole and Drew Sanders at linebacker, man, their defense has been atrocious. With the 117th ranked defense, not even top 100. Arkansas won last year, But unfortunately, I don't see them winning this year. I think LSU wins, and I think they book their trip to Atlanta. Give me LSU 42-31. LSU wins, and they cover. Let's look at another game. Number 15, North Carolina at Wake Forest. Wake Forest is actually a 4-point favorite in this game. So that's interesting. UNC, obviously the ranked team in this matchup. Wake Forest unranked. So that's a little surprising. ESPN actually favors Wake Forest 54% to win this game, which I kind of see. It's an in-state rivalry game, which I think is really will add an atmosphere to this game. Let's take a look. North Carolina, they're 8-1 right now, still with a college football playoff chance, in my opinion. The only thing hurting them right now is they haven't played enough quality opponents. Wake Forest will honestly be the best team they've played all year, which is saying something. North Carolina, with the worst defense in the ACC, the 122nd ranked defense in the country. Their defense has been atrocious, but they make up for it with their incredible offense, a top 8 offense in the country and the best offense in the ACC. Drake May for North Carolina, setting records, doing amazing things. He is putting on an absolute show, especially if you look at the stat book. I really like Drake May at North Carolina. Wake Forest, 6-3. Their season has kind of fell apart, but I still think they're a good team. One of those losses came to a very good Clemson team, or a decent Clemson team. I don't want to say very good after last weekend. But Wake Forest with a 65th ranked defense in the country, but a top 40 offense led by Sam Hartman, a very, very good quarterback. I went back and forth on this one, but give me Wake Forest. I think they win in an absolute shootout of offenses. Sam Hartman versus Drake May. But I'm going to give the edge to Wake Forest. I don't feel good about it, though. 49-42. Wake Forest wins, and they cover. Now let's get to our ranked versus ranked matchups, of which we have 4 this week, including the game of the week. Number 22, UCF at 17 Tulane. Yes, a group of 5 matchup. Tulane favored by a point and a half. And I understand Tulane is 8-1. UCF 7-2. ESPN actually gives UCF the 52% win probability on this one. UCF with a top 50 defense and the number 7 offense in the country, a top 10 offense. But Tulane very good with a top 20 defense and a top 50 offense. I think this will be a very good game. Tulane with some big wins over Kansas State this season. UCF led by Gus Malzahn, the former Auburn coach. And although I don't like Gus Malzahn, give me the Gus bus. Give me the Gus bus. I think UCF wins 35-31. UCF wins in an upset. Then we have my Alabama Crimson Tide, ranked number 9. A 12-point favorite at number 11 Ole Miss. Alabama Ole Miss have combined for great games of the year. The 2014 and 15 upsets for Ole Miss, the last time Ole Miss won, and the 2016 Alabama comeback. There have been some amazing Alabama Ole Miss games, and I think it's even better now that Lane Kiffin is at Ole Miss. It really just adds a layer to this historic matchup. Alabama has some struggle this season. I think their coordinators are pretty bad. Alabama has all the talent in the world, and if Alabama plays up to its potential, Alabama could be the national champion if it plays up to its potential. But already with 2 losses, pretty much eliminated from the college football playoff. But my point is, this team is the best in the country when it plays up to its potential. That doesn't happen often. Ole Miss, very good team. In fact, Ole Miss with a top 15 offense and the 3rd best rushing offense in the country. Ole Miss has been great at running the ball this season, especially with freshman, I believe his name is Quinkins, or Judkins, Quinshaw Judkins, I believe his name is. Yes, he has been amazing at running the ball. Alabama native. I'm sad that Alabama didn't get him. He's been doing amazing this season. Ole Miss defense hasn't lived up to their offense, not being top 60. But Alabama, like I said, had their struggles, got upset by LSU last week. But Alabama is still Alabama. Nick Saban is still the head coach, and Bryce Young is still the quarterback. Alabama with a top 15 rush defense. So I'm very interested to see Ole Miss's rush offense versus our rush defense. But a top 15 defense and a top 20 offense. I'm really curious as to how this game goes. But I got to go with my Tide. But I think 12 points is an insane number. I think that's way too many points. Give me Alabama winning 38-31. But Alabama wins, but they do not cover. But roll Tide, roll. I hope we get back in the win column. And then we have number 25, Washington, at number 6, Oregon. A matchup I'm very excited for, and a matchup that surprised me when I look at the spread. The spread is 13 points in favor of Oregon. I think that is way too many points. I'm not a betting man, and I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. But if I were, I would seriously take... I would not take Oregon to cover. I'll let you know that right now. But Oregon, favored by ESPN by 77%. They're 8-1. Bo Nix is playing incredible. They've been on this hot streak lately as of now, and they look unstoppable if you only look at the past few weeks. Now, obviously, they did drop a game at the beginning of the season. Absolutely got torched, blown out by Georgia. But this does feel like a bit of a different Oregon team. Their defense hasn't been spectacular this year, not even top 75, but their offense has been incredible with Bo Nix throwing the ball. Even though I hate to say that, as Bo Nix is one of my least favorite athletes of all time, but they have the number 2 offense in the country, and they have been on fire. But don't underestimate Washington. Only 7-2, and they have a top 40 defense with a top 10 offense. I seriously went back and forth on this game. I mean, I have a script here that I use for all my videos, and my script has it crossed out a couple times because I've changed my prediction. But I ended up picking Washington. I think Washington will get the upset and end Oregon's playoff chances. Give me Washington 45-42. Washington wins by 3 in an upset. And then the game of the week. Thank you if you're still watching. This is the game y'all are anticipating this week. It's number 4 TCU at number 18 Texas. Texas this year only with 3 losses. One of those came to Alabama only by 1 point, and Hudson Card was in for most of the game, their backup. And then another came to Texas Tech while Quinn was injured. And then another came to Oklahoma State. That's their only really bad loss of the season, as Oklahoma State doesn't look as good now. But at the time they played them, Oklahoma State still had fight in them. They still had playoff chances. So, I'll admit that. So, 2 of their backup quarterback. I think Texas is a very good team, and I think they're one of the most talented rosters in the country. I mean, Quinn Ewers at quarterback, Bijan Robinson at running back, Xavier Worthy at wide receiver, Demarion Overshone on the defense. This is an insanely talented Texas team. And I really like Steve Sarkisian as a coach. I really miss him. I was singing his praises even before 2020 and 2019 when he was Alabama's offensive coordinator. I really like Steve Sarkisian. I think he's going to be great at Texas. That being said, do not underestimate TCU. TCU, ranked number 4, undefeated. They've been disrespected and disrespected again. Called fake, called phony. Said their undefeated record will not last. But they just keep winning. Max Duggan playing incredible right now. On my Heisman watch. I put out my Heisman watch yesterday. Go watch it if you haven't. And then they have playmakers like Quentin Johnson. TCU's been really good this year. Now, neither TCU or Texas's defense have been great. Both are not top 70, but their offenses are really good. TCU's being top 5, number 4 offense in the country, and Texas is being top 30. And who knows what that number would look like if Quinn Ewers was in all year and didn't get injured. So, undefeated TCU at 6-3 Texas. An in-state game. Texas, though, here's what put me, because I went back and forth on this one too. This is what put me the edge and made me take my eventual winner. Texas is favored by 7.5. And Texas is given a 73% win probability. But man, it seems like when people rely on Texas, when people expect Texas to do good, they always fail. People are always looking for Texas to be back. And I don't think it happens this weekend. I think TCU is tired of being disrespected. Give me TCU to win, upset in the eyes of Vegas and ESPN. TCU wins in an upset, 42-35. TCU wins by 7. But let me know your picks. What picks did I get right? What pick did I get wrong? And what do you think about this? Another amazing slate of college football games. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you for watching. Peace out.